Oh my God, that is probably the best bit of advice ever.
And I don't care if it's colouring in book. I don't care if you get your vibrator out. I don't care if you cook in the kitchen, whatever does it
I love
for
that.
you.
Yeah. And it was like, I was sitting there watching these videos, avidly going, that is amazing.
I was like, this needs to be a case study. I'm like,
Yeah.
let's not talk about this. What happened the other night. Last that.
Hey, I'm Beck, dermal therapist, makeup artist, and host of Your Glow Code, the podcast where we talk all things skin, health, confidence, and living your glowiest life. Hit that subscribe button and give us a like, and leave us a comment below. It helps more than you know. And now for today's episode. Hello everyone and welcome back to Skinfully You. Today we are talking to the incredible Robyn McAlpine, the owner of the incredible skin clinic Skintifics, but also the author of one of my favorite skin books, SkinSide Out. It has helped me, even as a dermal therapist, understand skin simply and amazingly, and helped me treat people and explain skin to people in a way that's just understandable. Welcome, Robyn.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you for being here. Why don't you introduce yourself a little bit? I know that you are a corneotherapist, and just tell us how you sort of got onto this journey and treating skin through corneotherapy.
Yeah, I've been in the beauty industry a smidge shy of 20 years now. And
Wow.
The discovery of corneotherapy for me began when I started learning more about skin. And as you know, we go through our training and we don't always come out with a really solid foundation of skin anatomy and physiology. And
Yes.
when I started exploring this a little bit more, I started to realize that not all skin care is skin care. And there's a lot in the beauty industry and the greater big wide world of beauty that is not necessarily respecting or looking after our skin and the way the biology of our skin works. So when I started to have this bit of a disillusion, I just stumbled across the term corneotherapy, and curious mind went and had a little bit of a dig around and discovered that it kind of lit me up and reflected all of the beliefs and theories I was starting to develop around skin and how skin should be treated. And this was like almost like coming home and finding something that really deeply respected the way skin works. Yeah.
That's amazing. This, even just in that snippet there, I'm like, there's so much, because the whole premise of Skinfully You is about doing things that light you up. And from there, then you can take it even further and give to other people even more. So finding that is incredible in itself, just for you and anybody on that journey.
That's where I've been. I discovered this kind of new theory about 15 years ago. So much of my career has really been built on treating skin in this way. And my business, my salon, we don't do anything that doesn't fall underneath the corneotherapeutic banner. So it's part of who I am as a skin therapist, and wouldn't have it any other way.
That's amazing. So based on that then, can you explain to us what exactly is corneotherapy and how it differs from more what we would call maybe more traditional or better known skin treatments and therapies?
So corneotherapy is basically, when you break it right down, it's never doing anything that's going to impair, impede, or destroy or break down the skin's natural barrier. So we're not going to use any ingredients or any treatments that would start to strip away at the skin's microbiome, impact the health of the stratum corneum or the multilamellar lipids, which is the oil and water that sits in between every cell. So it's looking at what ingredients might interfere with that process, or traditionally what treatments might be. And the beauty industry, the traditional beauty industry, is really, it's coming a bit of a turn. People are a bit more respective of the barrier, but traditionally it's always been about peeling, resurfacing, rejuvenating in a way that's tearing down the skin. And so corneotherapy is quite limited in what you're able to do from a treatment perspective, but by having those limitations, it actually allows you to work a bit more freer, because you're looking at always, what is this going to do to the keratinocyte, the skin cell life cycle? How is this going to impact that, or break it down, or support it, or nurture it? So corneotherapy is a slightly different approach in that we're always looking at how we can maintain the skin's barrier at every step of any skincare routine.
Absolutely. And then, so why is having such a healthy skin barrier so important?
Every skin condition that I see that comes across my treatment room, whether it be acne, rosacea, dermatitis and barrier disordered skins all have started because there's something happening with those first 3 lines of defense, or the barrier, or the way skin works. So having a really healthy barrier means you're more resilient to a lot of skin things that can happen, and your skin will be healthier, it'll heal quicker, it'll bounce back. You know, even if you get a pimple's a normal thing, but if your skin is really slow to heal and sluggish, and it's taking a long time for our skin to restore that, it's a bit of an indication that something's happening with the health of the skin barrier.
Yes.
So I find my clients start to look younger and feel younger, all because they have a healthy skin barrier. It really is, to simplify fixing skin and solving skin problems, if you put all of your attention on fixing or creating a really healthy barrier, funnily enough, everything else in skin tends to fix itself or come together and be the healthiest it's ever been. And so I look like a genius. All I've done is taken away.
Look at me go.
Yeah, go me. Simply all I've done is remove or eliminate the things that have been disrupting the barrier or interfering with the skin's health, and allow the skin to do what it's designed to do, because our skin is very intelligent by design. Sadly, our industry is kind of undermining that and pulling it apart sometimes. So usually it's about bringing it back to basics and helping that skin barrier and those first 3 lines of defense to flourish, and everything else seems to fall into place.
Yes, absolutely. Well, it's acting in its homeostatic state. And so it's just perfection. And you see everything kind of just disappear from there. I really love that. And again, looking like a genius.
I'll take the credit.
I'll take the credit, exactly. So it's my understanding then that within some of those ingredients and things that you can and can't use within corneotherapy, enzymes are allowed, but like chemical exfoliants aren't.
It's looking at what is physiological to the skin and what is going to respect those little itty bitty skin cells. So a corneotherapist would traditionally avoid acids within the skin because they don't discriminate between a healthy and an unhealthy cell, or a cell that's past its prime. So it would just bulldoze off the whole entire surface without considering that there might still be some healthy cells that are doing a really good job there. Whereas enzymes work slightly differently, and instead of just breaking everything down, they dissolve the bonds that are holding cells together. So it helps to just look after the more healthy skin tissue that's still doing its job, that's not ready to be exfoliated away yet. So it's not about, enzymes generally don't over-exfoliate the skin away the way an acid-based product may. That's the shortest form of answering that question. But
no, that's great. I always really struggle to explain it to people because I'm like, well, they do the same but totally different thing.
Completely different. Yeah.
It is completely different.
Yeah, it's like ripping all the roof tiles off your house with acid and just leaving the roof wide open. Yes, for a moment, things will look healthier or glowier because you've just revealed cells that are just a little bit too young to be in the limelight, to be becoming a roof tile cell. So with enzymes, it's really only naturally breaking down cells that are redundant, that aren't needed anymore, that aren't really doing their job. And it's not breaking down everything else around it as well. There's less collateral damage, I would say, when it comes to using an enzyme over an acid exfoliant.
Yeah, I really love that. I love the house, like the roof tiling analogy too. And I always use like building bricks and healthy skin as a analogy. And then, the cement or the things in between is what you want to build up, not just floating bricks.
Yeah, the structure and health of a wall in your house. Think of a brick wall. You've got your bricks and your mortar. If something is continually chipping away at the mortar, you're not going to notice straight away. So you won't realize that wall is getting weaker and weaker over time. Whereas if you're always using products that are making sure that mortar is really happy and healthy, that the bricks are nice and solid and they're, doing their job, you're going to have a strong and sturdy house. It's exactly the same with skin. Our skin cells are like those bricks, and the mortar is like the multilamellar lipids that sits between those cells. So the more we can support and look after that through the topical skincare that we use, the way we look after ourselves internally, and also the treatments that we may or may not have, it's all about a really healthy brick wall with beautiful roof tiles on top.
Love that. It's our house. Well, it's our house. It is our tiling.
We live here.
We live here. This is my house and my skin is my roof. Thank you.
Yes.
Hopefully keeping the rain out.
Yes, yeah, because it's designed, our skin is designed to keep the bad guys out and keep the good guys in. And if we've got an impaired barrier, it's just not going to work that way.
No, it's not. And would you say too, with an impaired barrier, I feel like we're living in a sort of an epidemic of impaired barriers at the moment. And I feel like it comes down to so many things. I think there's so many at-home treatments now. There's so many influences. We are in an over-exfoliation period, and even just the remnants of skin from COVID, wearing masks all the time. Are you seeing this? Are you understanding that? And how are you sort of helping to educate and battle that with your clients?
Yes. Well, an impaired barrier has become a bit of a buzzword, but no one actually knows what it means. So my DMs are often lighting up. I have an impaired barrier, or I've impaired my barrier. But no one knows quite what they're talking about when we say that. But what it means is that our skin's microbiome has been disrupted. So we are covered head to toe in squillions of little bacterias of all different types. And when that's imbalanced or has been misplaced, or not even, you don't lose it, but with certain things that we do to our skin, it can change that, which that in itself creates inflammation in the skin. So we are absolutely in an era of impaired barriers, because we have just come through the era where it was trendy to scrape your skin off and try and start again. And everything was about resurfacing, exfoliating, refining, texture, all about texture and improvement. So the other thing I see is a lot of people are unaware how much they're exfoliating, because they might be using a cleanser that might have, say, a glycolic in it, and a toner that's got something astringent in it, then using a form of vitamin A that also might be resurfacing. Then we haven't even added exfoliant yet. So then add the exfoliant. So accidentally, unknowingly, people are exfoliating their skin sometimes several times per day without being aware of it. And the time it takes for our skin barrier to be built naturally is no less than a month. So if it takes a month for a little baby cell to work its way up and become that roof tile cell that protects us, it just can't do the job quickly enough if we're exfoliating it every day or multiple times a day. So seeing that come into my clinic, it's quite lovely, because I know I have all the tools and skills, and I'm about to do everything I can to repair this skin barrier.
Oh, goody.
I also know that clients are going to get very quick results, because to rebuild the barrier, it changes everything. So it's lovely to know that I have a resource and a skill, and I guess a system of corneotherapy that I know is going to do that for people. Yeah,
absolutely. And that education and the home, the correct home care, and the coming in the correct treatments and things like that. And with the corneotherapy, a lot of the time there's almost like personalized skincare. I know you use dermaviduals, and it's an incredible brand. Can you explain sort of how that personalized skincare can support you as a person, rather than what your friend is using and the concerns that you've got going on, and how important that is?
Yes. No, skincare isn't a one size fits all. And I know everybody recommends to their friend, I've been using this, it's amazing, you should try this too. And this worked for my sister's cousin's uncle's twice removed person once. Everyone's got an opinion about skin and skincare. And the thing with coming at skin from a corneotherapeutic approach means that we're really pairing it right back. Skin does not need a 10-step skincare program. So when people come into my clinic, yes, I work with dermaviduals, and it absolutely changed my life. It changes the lives of my clients, changed my career essentially, because I now had this tool that I could completely customize for every single person who walks through the door of my clinic. So
amazing.
The first step is that we really bring it right back to basics. What are the bare bones of a skincare routine that someone is going to need? And that might just be a cleanser and a moisturizer for the first month. and then we'll just add in what is necessary.
Yes.
But dermaviduals, it's a modular skincare range that I can completely customize. So I can make somebody a cleanser. I can even now make them their treatment tonic or toner, serum, moisturizer, mask, and the sky is the limit. So there hasn't been a skin I can't fix because it's unlimited combinations. So it's everyone should have their own skincare plan. And that's going to start with having a consultation, because it helps me and my team truly get to know skin, get to know that client and their skin, so we can make something that's really unique to them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the consultation process is so undervalued and so overlooked.
That is music to my ears. Yes.
I always, whenever I see someone, I'm like, we're going to just sit here and talk for like 20 minutes. And they're like, but are you going to, I'm like, I will, but we just need to, you've got to understand what is going on.
And I think this has been a challenge for a lot of clients, because traditionally in the beauty industry, a consultation has been a sales pitch. It has been, well, you should have these 10,000 products and these treatments and pay me all your money. But I've been really working hard to change the narrative of that, because in my skin clinic, a consultation is an hour long, and that does not include a treatment. That is sitting down, going through an hour consultation to really understand your skin, to know where you've been, what you've been challenged with so far, what you've been using, maybe undo some of the advice that's been given out in the past that might not quite mark. And then right at the very end, once I've gathered all that information, I can then build something that is going to be right for what you need with what we've discovered. And now it's something that I teach skin therapists worldwide with my mentoring program. The consultation process is the foundation of any client's skincare journey, because if you get that wrong, you're not going to be able to get the results, because you don't have enough information. And so many salons gloss over this. They might quickly chat to you 10 minutes before your facial, or you walk out the front after your facial and they'll line up the suite of products that they've used on you. And here's my recommendation. Like, based on what?
What exactly? Looking at me? What? I don't get that.
Most of the time, a beauty therapist is doing a facial in a very dimly lit room, because it's all about the ambience. And don't get me wrong, that is part of what you experience in my clinic, but not before we've sat and put you under the bright lights to really know what we need to do.
It's stripping it back there, basically. Absolutely.
It's the only way forward.
It's amazing, because obviously I'm very much about the consultation myself and things. And I went and got a facial somewhere about 3 weeks ago, and they literally just walked me in. So you happy with your products? And I was like, yep. And then started this facial, and I was like, oh my God, thank God I've picked like the basic thing and there's nothing going on here, because I was like, you don't know what's going on, like nothing. I was like absolutely mortified.
That's from an even greater from our industry of not being trained very well in our training, to businesses with a business model that's about getting people in and out, and then just there's a lot of things that I'm put on this earth to try and change with our industry, but I'm running out of time.
Oh, girl, I feel like you are like one face at a time, one therapist at a time. You are changing it. I mean, like even for me, just reading your book, and I have your consultation methods that I purchased as well, that I implement. And I think, one person at a time, you'll slowly get there.
Absolutely. And those that are seeking a skin therapist that will go the extra mile to consult and understand their skin, you're going to find them. They are absolutely out there.
They are out there.
We're there. We're doing it.
We're here. Like, hey.
But there are incredible skin therapists across our industry. So
absolutely.
Some that really do value the consultation.
Yes. And I know then, obviously, having delved into some of the consultation process that you do and some of my other trainings with other people, so much of it, and I think the world is becoming more accepting of this, and you even talk about it in your book, which I love, the body, the mind, and the spirit, we are all connected, and it is an internal, external thing, and understanding that our lifestyle, our sleep, what we're eating, what we're drinking, what we're thinking, all of those things affect us and our skin.
Absolutely. Skincare and the products that we use is such a tiny part of the resolution of any skin condition or skin health problem, because we can't isolate our skin as being separate to us as a whole. Our skin is a site of response of everything else that's happening within our body. So if our health is a little bit off, if our mindset is a little bit struggling, because our mindset's going to affect the way we eat, the way we sleep, all of the things that create for a really happy, healthy skin. So when I'm working with any of our clients, it's looking at them as a whole, as their lifestyle included, right down to, gosh, if they poop every day.
Yeah, but I mean, it's an important thing.
Yeah, so if you are going to try and fix your skin, you can't just walk in and go and buy a miracle product, because a moisturizer isn't going to undo all the other aspects of life. If you're eating poorly, drinking poorly, and just not looking after yourself, even your emotional state, you know, if you're in a very difficult relationship, a stressful workplace, all of those things are going to show up on your skin, and no amount of moisturizer can fix that.
No, absolutely not. I completely agree. And everyone thinks it's like that little Band-Aid fix and you go outside in. And I know that you talk about, and one of my favorite chapters actually in your book is the stress. And people, because I think we live, again, an over-exfoliation, but we live in a stressed state. We're in this hustle culture, and, you know, we're constantly talking to ourselves and being stressed. And then when you reference the water experiment in the start of that, and how, you know, there was that experiment where the water retaliates to what's being sent to it, and you stay, and it's like, oh my God, we are 60% water. Whatever you are feeling, your stress state, the mindset, the things you're reading, that comes out in your body. It's like,
and when I read that book, I think about maybe 20 years ago, maybe not that long, but I had this epiphany of like, wow, what I say to myself matters. The way I think about myself really matters. And the little voice of imposter syndrome and the little devil that sits on my shoulder that I sometimes give in and listen to is actually having a huge, huge, huge impact. And women, especially, we as women, we carry so much stress. There is not somebody who sits across from me in a consultation. I go, how would you rate stress in your life? And everyone goes, oh, I'm not that stressed. Meanwhile, you know, 3 kids, marrying a full-time job, all the things just to get out the door of a daytime, how much adrenaline and stress that we go through. But we just have this thing where we go through a stressful period, we manage, and that becomes our new normal. Something else happens, we manage that becomes our new level of normal. And it goes on and on and on until we don't realize what stress is around us and what it's doing to us. And the biggest thing is what it's doing to our skin, because our skin won't heal. It won't absorb the nutrients that it needs. Our skin becomes this barometer for a bad mood. The minute something happens, your face just flies off the handle, you know? Yeah.
It's so true. And the hardest thing, I think, in all of that too, is because our skin is a reflection of everything going on inside. The minute you have bad skin, it gets even worse, because that's what people are saying. And then you just end up in this little vicious little cycle. Like, you know,
we start to hyper focus on the breakouts or whatever's happening on our skin. And then we start stressing about that, which makes us stress out even more. And then we go, oh, well, this is it. This is just my skin. So I'm just going to eat bad this week. And it just is this self-perpetuating cycle. So
100%.
Yeah. One of the biggest things that my clients get in their prescription is the stress-free stuff. What do you do for fun? I ask this question all the time. What do you actually do? Because we can't always get rid of stress. We can't just, you know, all go on a retreat in Bali and live there for the rest of our lives.
Exactly right.
We have to find some balance, because we can't escape it. But, you know, if you could just do 4 hours, and they don't have to be one solid 4 hours, 4 single hours or 8 half hours throughout your week, just doing something you love. And I don't care if it's coloring in book. I don't care if you get your vibrator out. I don't care if you cook in the kitchen, whatever does it
I love
for
that.
you. Like, let's do it. Let's make that happen. That is part of your skincare routine.
Yeah. Oh my God, that is probably the best bit of advice ever. Have some fun.
Yeah, everyone's going to go and there's going to be no batteries left in Woolworths after this.
Absolutely not. And there shouldn't be. After this, there shouldn't be. Everyone listening, off you go.
Go and put it on charge.
Exactly. But in all honesty, self-pleasure it brings joy and it's another elevation.
It's a dopamine hit.
It's a dopamine hit. Yep. True. I mean, the better you feel, the better you look. And that is regardless of whether you have got actually, bad skin or not. If you are feeling good, feeling confident, living your best life, if you've got acne or rosacea or dry skin or aging skin, you're still going to glow and people will still gravitate towards that. So.
And when you're looking good in that high vibe of life, the little niggly skin things don't irritate you as much. You don't hyper focus on them as much because you've got a fullness and richness of life, and that little pimple doesn't become the thing that brings your whole world crashing down.
Yeah, you don't fixate and then start popping it and making it bigger than it was.
Yes.
Always like, leave it alone.
Let's not talk about this, what happened the other night. Last night.
I can barely see it. But speaking of, I suppose, bad skin, you recently went on a trip to the Himalayas.
Yes.
Which in itself is incredible. And you did this incredible 3-part series of what happened to your skin at the altitude and with the dryness. And it is absolutely fascinating on so many levels, and about how you had all the tools and it was still not repairing because you were still too high up, but how your environment, so forgetting the internal now, going actually to the external outside of your skin, how all of that affects your skin. And it was like, I was sitting there watching these videos avidly going, that is amazing.
I was like, this needs to be a case study. I'm like, wow, because I've done a lot of things with my skin over my career, and I've been in a lot of far-fetched places of the world, and never in my life have I ever experienced something like this. And I was riding a motorbike across the Tibetan Plateau, which is at very high altitude and incredibly dry. There is no humidity in the air. It's freezing cold. And I thought, I was wearing a motorbike helmet all day, so I thought I would be okay. No one else on the trip ended up looking like a deflated balloon quite like I did. But my entire face turned into this shriveled up sultana. It was burning, it was dry, and it went through these phases. It just started out really red like a windburn and then just developed into this extremely, extremely impaired barrier. And I never travel without my skincare toolkit. Like, I have all the tricks in the books, and I know exactly what to put on my skin in situations like this. But this was even so far extreme that I could not put anything on my face at all. And I'm just, in this instance, so grateful for my skin knowledge, because if this was happening to somebody who didn't understand what was going on in their skin, to see their skin so incredibly dry, so burning, so itching, and then literally looking like a shriveled up testicle. Like, honestly, go to the Instagram, look at those pictures. I still look back and think, my God, I looked about 75 in the shade.
It was really fascinating.
Yes.
You here right now is not the person in those videos.
I know. And it just goes to show with your environment that you can have all the right skincare, but if you're still not getting the right things that your skin needs environmentally, emotionally, all of that, it's still going to do its thing. So you have to change your environment if you want to change your skin. And within 3 days of returning to Kathmandu, being at lower altitude, having more humidity in the air, already my skin was starting to repair. And it only took about a week or two to go back to the way it was. And I didn't do anything too drastic skincare wise. I kept it really simple. But yeah, where you are matters. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I think also just you saying that your skin repaired so quickly is a testament to the skin health that you had before it became so impaired.
Thank you, Corneotherapy.
Thank you.
Yes. Great life Fine choice on my part.
100%, especially when you're going to those places, which in itself is just absolutely amazing. And for me, a whole nother conversation, but that would be a travel podcast, not a skincare podcast.
Yes. 5 weeks of no running water, no flushing toilets. And it was just a wild thing to put your skin through.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep.
So some of the treatments that you have in clinic, do you mind? I mean, obviously anyone listening would have to understand that they would then be personalized to them.
Yes.
But giving us an idea of some of the treatments that you have, and I do know that you have Chi Beauty in there, and I've interviewed the incredible Kathy Peterson, so I love that that's in there.
Yeah.
But just give us an idea of some of the corneotherapeutic treatments that you could have within your clinic.
Whilst corneotherapy does limit you, the options are actually endless when it comes to treating. Once you take peels and ablative treatments off the table, the world opens up to so many more things. So working with dermaviduals, I have a whole professional range of things that I can do within a treatment. That's amazing. But yes, in 2020, I rediscovered Chi Beauty and Kathy's work and realized that it wasn't this hocusy pocusy woo woo thing that I thought it was when I first looked at it in 2006 when I discovered it. I have regret that I didn't, that I waited nearly 15 years.
That's okay. You know, you live and learn.
I'm here now. I'm here.
Better late than never.
Yes. So Chi Beauty, amazing, because what Chi Beauty can do in one facial can achieve what 5 other facials couldn't. You know, the way it's working with cell signaling and cell communication, barrier function, and rebuilding how skin works from the inside out. I love that. We do some enzyme exfoliations. We're not afraid of exfoliating, but we do it in a way that's really respectful to the skin barrier. People are often quite surprised to know that I do skin needling, and I absolutely freaking love it because it is remodeling the skin from the inside out. But it does come under the banner of corneotherapy because it's not ablating or removing the stratum corneum in any way. It's actually passing through it with those needles to get through. So it doesn't do any damage to the exterior of the skin. And I do offer a little bit of laser. My business was built on laser hair removal. You know, that's what we were famous for in the beginning, and we still kick ass at that, I must say. But good. Yeah, but I use laser for very rarely in my clinic, but, you know, for some pigmentation issues, some vascular issues, just to kind of tidy up what products topically aren't able to achieve. So do a little bit of that. So as a corneotherapist, there's still plenty of high-tech, fun stuff. And it's not just about the kind of, let's just make it feel good kind of holistic approach. It's actually, no, once we've got your skin in a really healthy state, then we can go in and do the remodeling. Because if we remodel first, we're only going to make more of the same. And where your skin is right now, you're not really happy with. So if we can get those cells supported with the resources that they need to make great skin, they're the ones that we want to stimulate. That's what we want to activate and have more amazing skin produced when your skin is ready to do that.
I love that. That's amazing. So to me, I mean, none of that actually sounds boring or limited to me either. I'm like, that's kind of like all you need, really. Like the laser thing did surprise me a little bit, but obviously it falls within, there's certain lasers that are not ablative and things like that. And I do love that you explained the needling thing because people always are so confused by that.
Yes.
And I think, you know, the understanding that it isn't actually ablative and it is bypassing all of that is really, it's really important to know.
It's also about how you do the treatment as well. If you're plowing up the skin with a skin needling device, absolutely you're going to eventually ablate away. And I think this is where this skin needling has become a trending treatment. It's very popular. People just expect to walk in off the street and lie on the bed and get their face jabbed with 1,000 tiny needles. But I've been doing this treatment for, over 10 years now. And it was a bit of a tough sell in the beginning because no one wanted that. It sounds really scary, but now everyone just thinks, line me up. But I think our industry is starting to realize that just because it's trending doesn't mean you should be doing it all the time. And the technique is everything because you shouldn't be creating a massacre on someone's face. You shouldn't be bleeding and having to mop up, all of that. It's just about going to a depth that is going to kind of just poke that fibroblast with a sharp stick, going, excuse me, hello, can you just come out?
Wakey.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's where we're at. But I think like anything that trends in our industry, it just explodes, and then it becomes a very untrained, unskilled service. And
yes, very much so.
That's the story for a whole nother day, but
it is
you're
completely.
listening to this and looking at having these treatments. Find an amazing skin therapist.
Yes, if the right one will do it correctly. I love skin needling. It's one of my favorite treatments to receive. I absolutely.
It's my favorite to receive. I do it out of vanity. I want my skin to look good, so I'll suffer through it.
Yeah, that's true. There's always sneezing involved, for me, particularly around here. I'm like, sorry, I'm going to sneeze. So before we start to wrap this up, I would like to know if there is a particular trend or skin myth that you wish would just die.
How long have we got?
Yeah, okay, cool. I'll let you have like 2 or 3 then.
Okay. The first things first, if I could eliminate dermaplaning from the face of this earth, I would be one incredibly happy skin therapist, and every other face that's having dermaplaning would be much, much happier as well, because it is a treatment that, again, has become quite trending, and it's somewhat misunderstood. And I think originally it began as a treatment to remove the fine vellus facial hair that we have. Firstly, my issue with that is, who made that a criminal offense to have a bit of fluff on your top lip,
Yeah, like, come on.
This hair is designed to be there. And the fact that we've been told that it doesn't belong is always coming down to beauty standards that are so unreal and inauthentic and just have absolutely nothing to do with skin health or the mental health and well-being of people.
100%.
Until I just got on my high horse.
But it's unattainable. All these standards, they're unattainable.
Yes, and all of the pictures that we see online of these smooth, baby's bottom faces, it is so not what real skin looks like. And so then, one of my best girlfriends said to me, I thought my face must be getting really hairy or something. I'm like, she's like, and I've just realized it's because I am bombarded with media that tells me that facial hair is wrong. So now the fluff you can't even see in the sun is now under scrutiny. So that in itself frustrates me to no end with dermaplaning, and that people taking this as the option for that. The other part is it's been sold as an exfoliating treatment to smooth out and create this perfectly, donut glazed, whatever trend is trending thing of skin that is now has no barrier. So it's got no protection. We've also, if you think about a scalpel, it's designed as a surgical implement to cut through and gain access to the inside of our body. So if we're gliding that across the skin, it's just cutting off cells, and there's no control of depth. So any therapist that tells you, I'm really gentle, I only do a light one, unless they are working under a microscope, they can't see how much they're removing. So first of all, they're then taking off that microbiome. They're shaving off the stratum corneum and those surface cells, those roof tiles. And then that's leaving our barrier wide open. And we've got no security guards left to protect us from whatever we come into contact with. So that then leads to congestion, textural issues, inflammation. And that is like the gateway of all the other skin conditions that are to come as a result of that. So that being the treatment that is my worst nightmare for any skin. I don't care whether you're a corneotherapist or not. It just doesn't align with the way our skin functions. Product-wise, micellar water, and I'm going to go to my grave, and this is going to be on my stone. That micellar water is just been sold to us as a gentle cleansing option, and it couldn't be further from the truth, because if it can dissolve makeup like that, it's dissolving also the multilateral lipids, it's disrupting the microbiome of our skin, and it over time is chipping away at those roof tiles. And the mortar that we talked about that sits between those bricks, micellar water is basically the dissolvent for the mortar that sits between our skin cells. So if we go back to talking about having a strong and healthy cell wall or a brick wall, basically if we're dissolving that away every time we use a micellar type ingredient or product, you're not going to see the damage to the brick wall straight away. It's going to be over time, over days and months and weeks and years of using a product like that is slowly just undermining the health of your skin. So, yeah.
I'm so glad you said that, because I'm like that too. People go, oh my God, but I use micellar. I'm like, oh my God, it's not water.
Yeah.
Like, just first and foremost, it's not water. And really interestingly for me, I'm also a makeup artist and a prosthetics. I do lots of special effects makeup for film and TV as well. And one of my girlfriends was in the makeup bus the other day, and she was like, I can remove this special effects glue with micellar water. And she looks at me, she goes, what is in this? And I was like, and now you understand why I say don't use micellar water to wash your face.
I saw somebody on Instagram using it to clean their shoes. And I must admit, I do have micellar water in my house. I bought it for a photo shoot once, and I'm like, well, I can't throw it out. I don't like wasting things. I've used it to clean marks off my carpet and scuffs off my walls. So it's in my cleaning cupboard, not in my skincare cupboard.
God, that's terrifying.
It's a dissolver. It's like it's a degreaser. It's going to break down all those things, and that's not what you want for your face.
No, it's not. Well, I'm so glad you said it, because people keep looking at me like I'm absolutely mental, and I'm like, oh, okay, whatever.
Yep.
I'll see you in a year's time with that impaired barrier that you don't really know what that is, but you know it's not right.
Yeah, come chat to me when your face falls off.
Exactly. I'm like, well, I tried to tell you.
Yep.
Amazing. Look, in all honesty, I feel like I could drag the skin chat out for about 6 hours, and nobody really wants to listen to that all in one go. But where can people find you? Where is your clinic? What are you on Instagram? Your book? If people want to ask questions, where do they go?
Everyone is always welcome to slide into my DMs. On Instagram, I am Expert Skin Therapist. If you are looking for a skin therapist, I am in Newcastle, New South Wales, and you can come and see me or my team. And yes, I'm an author. I've published a book, and it's called SkinSide Out, and it is just there it is. It's a really easy to understand book to just learn about skin in a way that is not trying to, shove products down your throat. There's no ulterior motive of trying to sell you something. It's the opposite. It's about empowering you with the knowledge that helps you understand your skin better and feel more confident in your skin. And you can make really great skin choices once you have a good foundation of understanding how skin works. So I originally wrote this book for my clients because there was so much I wanted to tell them in that 1 hour consultation that I just couldn't fit in, and it was too much of information overload. So I just started writing, chapters, and would hand them out one at a time going, here, how we talked about pigment, this is what you need to know. And it's all come together in a book. So
it's fantastic. Even as a professional skin therapist, it helped me understand it even more simply to explain it to my clients and my friends about things. It is definitely worth a read.
And funnily enough, I think it's become a textbook in the beauty industry because it makes skin super easy to understand. And I think that's one of the gaps in our industry, is that we have amazing skin therapists who have a wealth of knowledge, but aren't quite sure how to translate it into a language that clients are going to understand. And I've seen with my clients, when I was, starting out, I was explaining things in such a technical way. I'd see their eyes glaze over and they completely disconnect from their skin because I couldn't bring it back to basics that was really understandable. So that's kind of where the book came from. That's also how I think a lot of people in our industry have picked it up as their little skin explanation Bible as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And the pictures are amazing. So
yes.
That really helps.
Sarah did an amazing job on the illustrations. Yeah.
Yes, they did. Definitely. Well, thank you absolutely so much. And hopefully people come and follow you and ask all the questions and start to simplify and educate themselves more on skincare, because Like you said, not all skincare is skin care.
Ah, that's going to be on my gravestone. I know.
It probably will. Thanks for watching this episode of Your Glow Code. If you found something helpful, please give us a thumbs up. It really helps the show grow. Don't forget to subscribe for more chats on skincare, the signs of feeling good in your skin, health and wellness. Leave us a comment. We'd love to know your thoughts and what your favourite moment was, and give us a follow on Instagram. See you in the next one.